Hey, hey, hey. Thanks, guys, for hopping on. Happy Monday. Hope you guys are having a great day. We are going to talk all things live video today as far as, what you need to do to get going with live video. If that's something you haven't done in the past, I highly recommend it. So I'm sure that Amanda and Solomon will chime right in a little while and let you guys know how important live video can be to your business. But there have been a lot of things that have changed for Facebook. So we want to make sure that everybody understands how the different changes have come to be and how important it is that we pay attention to these changes. Because I've probably used the analogy with you guys before that you're always either growing forward or really sliding backwards. There's no such thing as stagnant. So if you think you're stuck, you're probably actually going backwards. So we always need to be aware of what's going on around us, what's changing. Social media changes every single day, so we've got to stay on top of that. And that is one reason why we wanted to go ahead and come on here live and talk to you guys about this tonight. So let's start with the basics and talk about how live videos are usually structured. And Amanda and Solomon, if you guys want to hop in at any time and chime in, that's absolutely fine. But this is how I do it. When I'm creating a live video that I'm going to go live about, I usually have 3 to 4 bullet points that I want to talk about. So I'll have the intro first. I'll come on there, welcome everybody, say who I am, because you're wanting to attract new people. So you do need to get used to introducing yourself and saying who you are, because not everybody may know who you are. So that's the first thing that I do. And then I go through the main 3 to 4 bullet points. And then I thank everybody for joining. And if they got value from what they saw tonight, tell them to let their friends know or something like that. Tell your buddies about it, something like that. Do not say share. Okay. And we're going to get into that in just a minute, because that's one of the issues that we're having with the algorithm right now. And the proof's in the pudding. So let me just go ahead and tell you guys what's going on. 2 years ago, I did a stretch of live videos for about, I want to say it was like 50 some days. And on day 43, if I'm not mistaken, I must have unlocked something in the algorithm. I was getting 200 friend requests a day. I was getting ridiculous views on my lives. It was absolutely insane. Since then, things have changed. They have, and I apologize, my cat is in here acting like a crazy person. The algorithm has changed. You cannot ask anyone to do anything specific. Basically, what that means is you don't want to say things like tag your teams, share if you got value. You don't want to use the word share. You don't want to say drop a comment below, drop a 1, drop a 2. You don't want to say things like that. You want to ask questions and get engagement by asking questions. But if you start asking for specific things for people to drop a comment or something like that, it's very possible that Facebook will flag you. My video engagement went down to close to 100, less than 200 views, when at one point it was over 1,000. Okay. That's how much difference it is with the algorithm. Things hopped right back up. I got 700 and some views on Sunday from a video that I did on Sunday, and I got 400 and some, almost 500 from a video that I did on Friday. The only difference, guys, was that I was very careful about my wording. So make sure that you don't use the words like that. And I've got kind of a list here, so let me just go through them real quick. Tag your teams. That's a no-go. Share. We're not saying that. Comment below. We're not saying that. Drop anything. Nope, not going to say that either. Like this video. Nope, not going to say that either. So anything that's specifically asking someone to do something, we don't want to do it. So, guys, that sounds very intimidating, doesn't it? It sounds like, oh gosh, I'm never going to get this right. Try not to overthink it, because honestly, when you are giving something of value to your audience, it's really not as hard as you think. You need to talk to people like you're talking to one person, and that's going to make your life a whole lot easier. If you remember the fact that there could be hundreds of people watching you, it can really make you nervous. And so I'm going to give you some tips. You guys like some tips? Because it's pretty good, and I've got my little trusty dusty post-it notes right here. and I'm going to show you with my phone what I did for a very long time that made my life so much easier when I was nervous at first. You should get a tripod. If you don't have a tripod and you need to prop your phone up on something, that's fine. You want to go horizontal when you're doing live, and the reason being is it just looks better on the screen. It absolutely does. So my phone camera is right up here at the very top. It's a little dot. Yours is probably the same. So the first thing you want to do before you go live is clean it. You can use the edge of your shirt, because you would not believe how quickly that little camera dot gets dirty, and it looks smudgy and you look like you're in a fog if you don't do that. So clean that off. And if you think you're going to get nervous, here is a little hack for you. Take you a Post-it note, rip one off, and you can actually even put your notes on here, you know, as far as your 3 bullet points that you want to talk about. And we'll talk about that in just a second. And if you take it and put it right here, the very top next to your camera dot, you can even, and this is what I used to do. Y'all laugh at me if you want to. It's fine. But this is what I used to do, literally. I would put a little arrow on my Post-it note. That's where you're supposed to look, okay? Because if you're not looking at that arrow, at that little dot right there, you don't look like you're making eye contact. You look like you're looking all over the room, and nobody knows who you're looking at. So that is something I did for a long time. And if you put Post-it notes on your phone like this, you can go ahead and go live, and the people have no idea that you have a Post-it note on there. They have no idea that you can't see your own face, because it's distracting. It's very distracting, especially in the beginning. And you don't have to worry about the comments, because you don't want to at first. You want to keep on rolling, because they can make you very, very nervous, or at least they did for me. So clean your phone, put Post-it note over it. Do not write out your full live. I don't know if you've ever overthought, if you're an overthinker, and I have been known to be an overthinker. The first 3 or 4 Facebook Lives that I did, I actually sat down for an hour and I wrote out exactly what I wanted to say on this legal pad. And it was literally a legal pad notebook. I wrote down every single word that I wanted to say, because I wanted it to be perfect. I wanted to do it just right, knew what I wanted to say, had everything written out. And I probably lost my place 10 times. It was the biggest jumbled mess ever. So through trial and error, and I'm not sure how Amanda and Solomon do it, but I've found that if I do bullet points and do the main points that I want to talk about and make sure that I have those to kind of reference, I do a whole lot better. Do I still stumble? Yes. Do we still fumble over ourselves? Yeah, but it's okay. And it's a whole lot easier to be able to ad lib when you just have the main points sitting there, instead of trying to write the whole thing out, because you'll lose your place just like that. It's really, really frustrating. So I usually do 3 to 4 bullet points that I talk about. So there's the intro, then you do your bullet points of what you want to talk about, and then you wrap things up and thank your audience, tell them you hope that they got value, you hope that they enjoyed it. And here's the different ways. So you don't have to do the coffee, okay? I would suggest that is something that you can do to go live, is show people how to make your coffee. That is really, really easy. But that doesn't need to be your only video. Okay, so if you want to start doing lives, you want to mix that in, but you don't want that to be the only thing, because then you can come across spammy that you're just trying to sell. But making your coffee is really easy, a really easy video to do to get the word out to your audience. You can also teach something, and here's just an example that I've done before. I am a declutter-aholic. I'm not a minimalist by any stretch of the imagination, but I had a situation several years ago where I ended up in a lot of clutter, and I got a little addicted. And if you've ever read the book, The Magic of Tidying Up, I've read that book and I got addicted to it. And there's a folding method that you do with t-shirts. And I literally got on live video and showed people how to fold that t-shirt. And that was one of the most productive lives and the most interactive lives that I've ever had. I knocked my light over one time. Guys, if there's been a mistake, I've made it, okay? Do not think that you're alone. Do not think that, just because I've been doing live video for a while, you may see my lives and be like, gosh, she's got it all together. Yeah, but you didn't see when the light fell over. You didn't see whenever I tripped over it. You didn't see when the cat knocked everything down at one point. There's been several times it's just like, okay, that was a debacle. Can we start over? But you just keep on going, and you learn from it and you move on. Invest, learn, teach. That's something that Ray Higdon says all the time, and it's so very true. If you're doing personal development, which you should be, you can always take what you're learning in your books and write out a few bullet points and talk about that. Don't overthink it. Don't think it has to be perfect. Make your coffee, but anything that you do, you can, as long as you can be entertaining. I've done lives with the kids singing and stuff like that, and people eat it up. They love it. Educate, empower, and entertain are the 3 E's that I usually try to go by. And so just add value. All of those things are adding value. If you're empowering people and telling them stories, stories sell, not facts. So if you're trying to tell people facts about the coffee and thinking that you're going to win them over by facts, most likely you're not. You need to become a very good storyteller, and that takes time. So try to pay attention to the different stories and different testimonials that people have, stories that go on in your life, different things that happen in your life, because people want to know you. And I've had more interaction on those than any time that I've tried to do it straight out of a book. So try to make sure you're being relatable. If you're doing something that's directly out of a book and you have your little bullet points, what's a story that goes with your life that goes with that? That's going to make a big difference in how well your live is received, because people want to know you. One other thing that you don't need to do that I'm really sad about, and Amanda knows probably what I'm getting ready to say, we don't need to use funny props anymore, which breaks my heart, because I used to have my unicorn head that I used all the time. It was one of the big mascot heads. It was awesome. But yeah, that's another thing that they're looking for on the Facebook algorithm, and they will ding you for it. So I can't use my unicorn head anymore. That's really the gist of it, guys. And honestly, if you go live once a week, that's great. That is really great. But to get good, you're going to need to go more than that. Literally, it comes about the 25, 26 day range, if you do them straight in a row, that you start getting in a groove, and you start, coming into your own, and you figure out what to say, and things just start coming naturally. The first 3 weeks straight of doing a live every single day, you're going to fumble. You're going to feel like a fish out of water, and it's okay. You have to be bad before you're good. It's just kind of the way it is. But that would be my recommendation. If you're ready to take that next step and jump into lives, which I highly recommend, do a challenge with yourself. Do a challenge with yourself and go live so many days straight in a row. I'm on live number 55 today, I think. I'm on day number 55. You don't have to do that many. I'm just saying, if you can do them day after day after day after day after day, you start getting in a groove, and you start getting more efficient at doing them. You start figuring out different things you can talk about, and it doesn't become, quite so hard. In the beginning, it's hard for everyone, and I think you guys probably would agree with me on that. So, quick recap: no funny props. No asking people to do stuff specifically, and basically just do it. Just get in there and get it done. You'll be glad that you did. You really did. So that's all that I have. Amanda and Solomon, I'm going to unmute you guys, or you can unmute you. Amanda, you want to chime in?
Sure. You really hit it, all the good points. But what I do want to talk about is, I think a lot of people, and myself included, when I started, it was like, how long do I go live for? People feel like they got to be on for 10, 20. I've seen people go 30 minutes.
That is so good. I'm so glad you brought that up. No, don't go. No, you don't need to go 30 minutes. Literally, you can go 5 minutes and you're good. Right. You really don't have to go. It comes in practice. It really does. It comes in practice. It takes time to work your way up to where you have enough to talk about, honestly. And there's
Right.
nothing wrong with that. But yeah, it takes practice, and 5 minutes is plenty. It's plenty,
Right.
especially in the beginning. Do 1 bullet point or 2 bullet points. You know, if you have a book that you're reading and you have a whole bunch of different things you want to talk about, but you're scared to death, I would rather you break them up and do 1 topic a day, like 1
Right.
bullet point a day, and do them every single day and get in the groove, get in the habit of doing it, and your flow will come. So 5 minutes is plenty. It's plenty.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Solomon, you have anything? Are you muted?
Trying to, yeah, I
There it
muted
is.
myself. You know, the only thing I can really say or, you know, give advice is, like the lady said, you know, have your notes and everything ready, prepared, bullet points and whatnot. It doesn't have to be a specific topic, something that you're experiencing. It could be something that you thought of, reminisced about, whatever, you know, whatever. It can be anything really, you know. I think once you get to the point where we're at, you know, you just kind of like go with the flow. Now, if it's something that you're really not sure of, make sure you do have your notes and everything, and your facts right, because people will fact check you.
Yep.
Now, I know before I used to do a countdown, and I know for myself I would be nervous to do it, and in order for me to get to that point to like just push the go live button, I would have to psych myself up. Even at this time now, I get kind of like, you know, I like to listen to music, get me amped up. I'll drink the coffee, which I would not recommend drinking the nitro brew beforehand because you will stutter a lot.
Jumping jacks work.
Uh-huh.
Jumping jacks work.
I'll stutter like crazy. I'll be all over the place. But do something to where it'll get you, you know, because here's my thing, and this is just me, you know, personally. The ladies that might have, you know, a different opinion about it, but for me personally, nobody wants to see a boring person. Don't be monotone. Don't be, you know, like that guy, the teacher at Ferris Bueller, you know, day off, you know, Bueller. You know, you don't want, you know, it's just like if you were going to class, you're going to a seminar, you're trying to listen to somebody, and if they're speaking to you at a monotone level, and if it's boring, you're going to fall asleep. So don't be boring, but at the same time, still be yourself. So I always say, just be yourself times 2, and just kind of like, just have fun with it. Because if you have fun with it, you're gonna have, you know, it's gonna be a lot more enjoyable. It's gonna be less nerve-wracking, and people are gonna really like your energy. I think the majority of the time, I get people because they like watching my end. They say all the time. I always get messages. I love your energy. I love your energy. You're so inspirational. You're so motivational. You're so this and that, and that's really a testament of just doing lives over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. You know, I wasn't like that in the beginning. You know, I was very, very just, I guess, abrasive. You know, my videos were just kind of like, you know, one direction, and I couldn't really figure it out, and just working at it, you know, just helped me, you know, kind of break down my walls. You know, I was nervous. You know, I didn't like talking to people. So after a while, you know, I just got good at it. So yeah, just bring the energy, and just, you know, have the 3 E's. What is it? Energy, enthusiasm, and what's the other one? Energy, enthusiasm, and I can't remember what the next one is.
I don't know those.
Y'all know?
Sorry, I don't know those. I do the educate, empower, entertain.
It's energy, enthusiasm, excitement. There you go.
Excitement. Very good.
Just bring those 3 to the table, and people are going to start watching you. And don't get discouraged if it's just, you know, a few views and whatnot. You know, I've had 20,000+ views, and today I only have maybe 100 views. So it's just one of those things. Views aren't going to pay you, and help you for the people that are actually interested in watching you.
Yep, agreed. Agreed.
That's it.
Okay. Mandy, you got anything else to add?
You just do it. You got to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not Kelly. I'm not Solomon. Solomon's not me. I mean, he could put a blonde wig on, but we got the same, but you just got to be you. We all have our own niche. We all offer something different, but at the end of the day, in this business, we have to be ourselves and bring value. And that's why people say Solomon's inspiring. That's why people look at you like you're an influencer, because you're not talking about what you had at McDonald's every day, or you know what I mean? You're bringing yourself, you know what I mean? And it doesn't always have to be like A1 content, you know what I mean? It can just
We
be.
did a live
and one more thing.
Saturday with kids, like folding socks. They were folding socks, and that's what I was live in the bedroom about that, because it was just fun, and they were singing and being silly,
right?
And that's not what I normally do, but those a lot of
switch it up.
Yeah,
and that's what I wanted to just touch on that real quick, and that kind of like brought like a spark in my head. Be relatable to people, speak on things that other people are going to understand and relate to you, because those are the people that are going to end up following you, first and foremost. And second, don't be afraid to tell your story. For the longest time, I was very, very scared of what other people would think because of my bad situation in the past, with the repossession of my truck and my finances, being, broke, not being able to feed my children, house under foreclosure, and all that. Don't be afraid to share that with people, because there are other people out there in the same predicament, and those are the ones that you're going to wind up impacting, and ultimately they're going to be asking you about this opportunity and say, hey, what is it that you do? How do you do this? And how can I do this? And how can you help me? And that's what we're basically here to do, is help them get to a higher level.
Yep. Agreed. All right, guys. Well, if that's it, thank you guys so much for joining tonight.
Thanks.
And we'll be looking for your lives. We're excited to see them.
Yes.
Y'all have a good night.
Good night.